Well then folks, it's end of April now, so it's about time for me to start sowing some of my faster growing frost tender stuff. So what I'm sowing today is I've got some gherkins, which I've never actually grown before, so there'll be a new one. I've got some winter squash, and I've got some courgettes, crystal apple, cucumber. If you've never tried those, you want to give those a go. They're fancy little like golden green colour, little tiny cucumbers. They look really awful, they're ugly and spiky, but they're so sweet, it's unbelievable. Cucumbers again, market more, that's what I grow, another ugly variety. They're like the one called Burpless Tasty Green, because they don't give you indigestion, and they're just sort of free roam and they just grow on the ground. And then finally is my favourite French bean of all time, which is Courgette, which give absolutely unbelievable results. So I'll just get on and sow a few of these. Like I say, gherkins, I've never actually tried a gherkin before to grow one, so I presume they're just like growing cucumbers, but you get loads and loads of little tiny ones instead. And I don't actually know if you're supposed to train them up or whether you just let them ramble on the floor, so it doesn't actually say. So as with most of these seeds, these little flat seeds like cucumber and gherkin and squash and stuff, I mean, these are tiny. It's the best way. I've got some pots here with potting compost in, and I've already watered it, because you don't need to sort of sprinkle soil over. And what you do is you just, I won't show you with these, I'll show you with the bigger one, but you place them on their edge, because the shoot actually comes out of the side of the seed, and it's a lot easier for it to push the seed casing back out if you plant it on its side, because if you plant it on its side, there can be a bit too much compost on the top. So that's it, I just shove those in, about double the depth of the size of the seed, like so. Now these squashes, I might be able to show you a bit better with these, if I can find them. These are just a random winter squash variety. I grew them last year and I got some little yellow ones, little green ones and white ones, and they were all really sweet. So, same thing with these. You see, like that. But if you plant them on their edge, like so, and just push them in, maybe about the same depth again as the width of the seed. So, in this case, about 3/4 of a centimetre or so on their edge, and just lightly cover it back over with a bit of wet compost. That couldn't be easier. And courgettes, these are another amazing variety that I grow. I found these a few years ago. They're called Defender, and I just grow one in my polytunnel. I grow all these in my polytunnel actually, so it might be a bit early if you're thinking of growing them outside to be sowing stuff, but these are quite a bushy variety, and they just grow up and up and up, and you just get courgettes coming all the time. And I must have got 50 or 60 courgettes last year off one plant. I don't know why I'm sowing 3, I have to give some away, but you get absolutely sick to death of them, honestly, with this. So that's the variety Defender. They're not a fancy one, they're just a green courgette, so nothing special. And then we're on to this crystal apple now. I grew these quite a long time ago, like probably about 10 years ago, and I don't know why I stopped doing them actually. But I remember they were so prolific, and they just trailed about the place, and you just got absolutely literally hundreds of cucumbers about that big, bright green, sort of yellowy green colour, and perfectly spherical. But they were the sweetest, juiciest things. Well, they did actually taste like an apple, hence the name crystal apple, I suppose. But and they're a really old variety, sort of heirloom variety. Not expensive at all, dead easy to grow. So I'm giving those another go. Getting lost here. And then the final one for the cucumbers and things is, well, I've got two packets in here. They both say market more, so it should be alright. Just hope they're fresh. Is a sort of ridge variety, which just means an outdoor variety, but I grow them in the polytunnel, like I say, and you can let those just scramble about all over the floor, and they produce loads of sort of mini cucumbers, maybe 6 inches, but like I say, really prolific. I can't see. The chair's a bit low, and they're great as well. They'll sort of grow outside because they're an outdoor variety, but they'll grow in better indoors. And finally, like I said, my favourite French bean variety of all time is Courgette. That's why I'm only growing 6. Believe it or not, I've 6 plants grown at about 6-inch intervals, just up a single cane, And then when they come to the top of the cairn, what I do is I tie some string onto the middle of my polytunnel and actually train them above my head as well, so the beans hang down. They just keep growing unbelievably. I was getting, I would say, 4 or 5 pounds off each plant over a season, so just 6 plants in a 2'6" row, you can get nearly 20–25 pounds of beans. So there are your French beans. If you look at the bottom, they've got actually a little slit and a little white mark. Now some people say plant it with the little white slit downwards, which I always do. Don't know whether it makes any difference whatsoever, but they always seem to germinate really well. But I'm putting 2 in each pot because you get plenty of seeds just in case one doesn't germinate, and then I'll just break off or pull out the weaker seedling. But I love growing beans because they're, you know, the proper strong seed, and you see this massive great leaf coming out. So hopefully these should be up and germinating. I'll put them in my propagator at home in some warmth, and they should be up. I would say some of the cucumbers can be up in as little time as 3 days, so they should all be up within a week, and then I'll grow them on for a week at home, and by then that should be about the middle of May, and it should have warmed up there, hopefully, and should be able to plant them out. So anyway, nothing exciting. That's just me sowing of the cucumbers and the sort of flat seeds and the French beans. So that's how I grow me, or plant me squashes and courgettes and cucumbers. He's looking forward to the middle of May when they go out and it's a bit warmer. See you later.